working now.
Okay.
So this is week 6 of our live feeds. Can you believe it? It's been six weeks of topics, 6 lectures, 6 live feeds. No, I thought we'd be doing
6 crazy weeks.
I thought we'd be doing this for 4 weeks, honestly, but it looks like we're going to do it for a little longer. We came up with a schedule, didn't we?
A schedule.
Yeah, we planned things. Nuts. This week's live feed is on picture Jaspers, and this is exciting because I've been to a lot of them myself, so I know how exciting it is to be there, and looking at all of the materials that we... It's okay, Evan. Looking at all the materials that we cut and polished over the past week and a half, looking at all of those pictures in the stones and imagining where it is, and just really lit a fire in me, and I just want to like jump in my truck and drive west.
Going west is good. From here.
Yes, and I think that you are getting that little fever to go west, aren't you?
Yes.
Yeah.
Should I say something?
Sure.
Hopefully, it's not entirely set yet, but we'll be mining at Graveyard Point in the middle of June.
Mid to late June is as specific as we've come up with yet. But there's a lot of activity going on over there, and that's the other reason why I'm just eager to jump in my truck. Steve Schultz has been posting some beautiful pictures of what he's been digging up adjacent to our claimant graveyard.
The Pink Lady.
Pink Lady, yeah. Pink Lady claim. And he's finding some beautiful, beautiful pieces. I spoke to Dale Hewitt this morning, and he's out hiding out at Polka Dot Agate, but he has some other mining operations planned for the spring and summer. And Philip Stevenson just announced on his Facebook page his spring and summer mining operations, which there were 4 or 5 of. But he is also mining in the Plume Agate area, and he's mining his Linda Marie claim and Feather Ridge.
Yes, and
So
I think he's going to mine with Spider Woman as well,
Yeah,
which
I think
is
those on there too.
not too far away.
So there's going to be a lot of new plume agates on the market this year,
Yes.
which is exciting. And we'll be out there mid-June. So like I mentioned before, we came up with a schedule. Evan, can you show that schedule? So today is the 30th, and we're covering picture Jaspers, but on May 7th, we'll be covering Laguna agate, May 14th, Morrisonite, May 21st, Coimito agates, and May 28th will be a review of the 9 previous featured items. So these materials will all be new. You want to say something here? Go ahead.
Yeah. We've been producing all new rock for each one of these Live at 5 presentations, and been back there working 10-hour days producing stuff. But if we have a big pile of things, we're going to get all these polished for Thursday, and then, of course, there's 3 or 4 of them that don't get done. So we have all these leftover pieces, and that's what we are going to have for our last presentation. We'll cover a little bit of everything.
So you wanted also to say something about Morrisonite, though?
Yes.
That's an important week.
Yes.
May 14th.
All of you who have been stuck at home and are looking at some of these old boxes, I mean, if you looked at a post that we put up this week, or a box of rocks that you couldn't tell one rock from another, completely covered in dust. Well, I mined Morrisonite for 11 years, from 1986 through 1996, and every once in a while I put a few rocks back, and they are buried in the basement in a few small barrels underneath a bunch of whole other stuff. So I'm going to dig those out, and we're going to cut some really fine material and have it available on the 14th.
Yes, 14th.
This material isn't going to be cheap, but there's going to be some that's top-notch.
Wonderful. That sounds exciting. So, before we start on Picture Jaspers this week, I wanted to introduce myself. My name is Veronica Woods, and this is Eugene Mueller, my father. We are the owners of the Gem Shop, but we are not here by ourselves. Annie, Sherry, Stephanie, Sandra, and Corey are all safe at their houses, but joining us today to help with comments and to answer any of the questions that you may have throughout the feed. I also have Evan. Wave, hello, Evan. Thank you. He's on our camera. And Isaac is in the office, and he is helping me. He's telling me to speak louder, for example, with comments that I have to answer during the feed. So if you do have questions and comments that are specifically to us, then we will be getting those too and answering them as best we can. So we'll start tonight with a talk about Picture Jaspers, and then we'll move on to the live feed portion of tonight, and then we'll finish up with one of Gene's mining stories. So, okay. Gene, what is... Oh, the boxes. I completely forgot about the boxes. So, if you commented last week, your name is in this box. And this is why we want to encourage you to comment throughout the feed, because your name next week will be in this box. And that means you have a chance to be the winner of a coupon for this week. And the coupon is 20% off anything you purchase.
Ooh, there's lots of paper.
So who's the lucky?
So who gets 20% off of whatever they want? Bob Carter.
Bob Carter. You commented last week. Thank you very much for commenting. You get 20% off your purchase if you would like to choose to purchase anything today.
Yeah, anything that's in the feed.
The next box, just because we love to do exciting things, is 129 numbers, which is the number of items we have for sale tonight. And Gina's going to pick the number that is half off. Half off this one item.
Anything in the feed, including rough rock, if you like a particular kind of rough, if one of the numbers comes up to that, right? You would get half. It would at half price for as many pounds as you wanted.
Number 21 is half off. Well, whatever it is.
That's not rough rock. But we don't know what that is.
You don't know that yet? If you want to text or comment number 21 now, you will get that item half off. Just be the first person to comment that number, whether it's now, when you see the item, after the feed, tomorrow at noon if it's not sold, and you comment number 21, it's yours. Half off.
Mm-hmm. So we encourage you to comment. It's to your advantage for next week. And if you have any questions, we will try and answer them either in the feed or later.
Okay, well, let's start with Picture Jaspers. What is a Picture Jasper, Gene?
Well, okay, the easy answer is that a Picture Jasper is a Jasper with a picture in it. However, the answer that I'm going to give you is a little bit more complicated and has formational as well as historical components. In 1968 or 69, a man named Bruce Marcus was chasing some wild horses in the mountains in the Three Fingers Butte area. And he came over a hill and saw all these pretty rocks on the ground, so he picked a few up. And he had a friend. The friend was Dudley Stewart in Boise, Idaho. He took them and showed them to Dudley Stewart. Now, Dudley Stewart has Stewart's Rock Shop, which is one of the oldest rock shops in the country. And Dudley loved the rock. And not too long after that, they filed a claim on the area and started mining it. The success of this jasper caused an actual jasper rush in the area, not unlike the gold rush in California, but on a much smaller scale. The area around Three Fingers Butte and to the west was intensely prospected in the next few years. The area went from having no claims to having 50 or more claims in the Three Fingers Butte area. There's been so much jasper mined from this small, relatively small area that a few years ago, 2015, Hans Gamma and Lawrence Jensen published a book describing and documenting many of the jaspers that are produced there. All of the jaspers in the Three Fingers Butte area share some common formational characteristics. And because of their popularity and these common formational characteristics, the formational characteristics themselves have become the defining criteria for determining whether a rock is a picture jasper or not. There are many rocks which are picturesque, or that will show pictures, but do not have these common formational characteristics, and they are not referred to as picture jaspers. I'm going to, as we go through our feed, talk briefly about probably the three most popular picture jaspers from the Three Fingers Butte area. But first, I'd like to try and describe the formation or the formational characteristics that define what a picture jasper is. And when thinking about doing this, I thought, well, all right, I got to draw a few pictures to try and illustrate this.
Can I help you?
So I went in the back room and drew some quick pictures. There it is. So this is not formally correct or anything. It's just a drawing. So if you have a volcanic deposit of rock, either an andesite or a volcanic ash or whatever, and it gets cracked, earthquake cracks, cracking or whatever. So this represents a massive volcanic rock with two cracks in it, a vertical crack and a horizontal crack. So that's what happens first. Then that gets filled with the jasper. Jasper deposits in the cracks. This is usually all one color, and in the Three Fingers Butte area, it was primarily a blue-gray color. Sometimes a little bit more bluer, and sometimes a little grayer. So that's what happens first. Then, because of the nature of the area, this jasper gets cracked. So it gets cracked and fractured. And then you get, subsequent to that, you get inflow of other mineral-bearing rocks, and they coat through the cracks and soak into the jasper. So they actually stain the jasper from the outside. This is just a little drawing showing maybe just the first case of that, but this happens over and over and over and over again, and slowly the jasper gets stained from the outside in. So that formation or that characteristic is common to all the jaspers in the Three Fingers Butte area, and to jaspers that are found other places in the world as well. And when that type of formation is observed, those rocks, and it is a jasper, those rocks are referred to as picture jaspers.
Would you like to talk about this pedestal rock?
Here we have a piece of wild horse picture jasper, and you can see the blue part here. This was the blue-gray part. This was the original color. All the jasper was this color, and then you have all these little cracks and water solutions or silica-rich solutions carrying other minerals came through those cracks and stained the jasper different colors. In some cases, the whole thing gets stained, and in other cases, it just gets stained from the outside edge of the crack.
Thank you. Should we go look
Okay.
at some more of these?
Yes.
Okay. Follow me, Evan. So now is the time that we're going to start our live feed. As Evan's getting set up here, I just want to go through what that means. We're going to be showing you 129 different items today. And if you are interested in that item, you simply comment that item number. And while I'm showing these items, Jean is also going to continue to talk about the picture Jaspers on a more of an individual basis. So we're going to start with a Wahi picture Jasper.
This is the original picture Jasper from the Three Fingers Butte area.
It's not focusing.
And it is called a Wahi picture Jasper after the Wahi Mountains, or all the mountains that are in this area are called the Wahi Mountains. And this is an interesting story. The name Wahi, in Idaho, bordering the Oregon, is Wahi County. And the mountains that are in Oregon and Idaho there are called the Wahi Mountains. Well, there was a group of immigrants that moved into this area many, many years ago from Hawaii. And people would ask them, well, where are you from? Where are you from? And they would say, Hawaii. Excuse me. But they misunderstood, and the name Oahe comes from the mispronunciation of the name Hawaii. It's Owyhee, Oahe. The Jaspers from the Three Fingers Butte area are there's so many of them, so many different ones, that sometimes Jaspers are found out there and people ask, well, where did you find that? And they will just say, well, it came from it's a Wahi Jasper, meaning it came from the Wahi Mountains. This is confusing because these Jaspers would be different than the original Wahi Jasper. So some people now refer to this Jasper as a Wahi Gem Jasper to try to distinguish it, that this is the original Wahi Jasper and not just some Jasper from the Wahi Mountains.
We're coming up.
The
Coming up on number 10 here is $25.
The Wahi Jasper deposit itself is about 5 miles to the west of Three Fingers Butte. And it is a vertical vein running straight down into the ground and varying in thickness. So as it goes down into the ground, sometimes it gets narrower and then it widens up again. It was originally mined with a dozer, just pushing the rock away from the side of the vein and then pulling the vein off the wall. The claim is now owned by Dale Hewitt, and he has mined it. He obtained the claim in 1987 and has mined it 6 times since then. Now it is a deep trench in the side of the hill, and mining the claim more would be almost impractical from a mining point of view. Dale has told me that he thinks he might try and go back there and go through all the original overburden and waste rock from the early mining operations, because they tended to miss a lot of the rock when they were beginning to mine there. But as far as future rock from the vein itself, it's very unlikely.
Oh, I really like this one. Oh, you want to show your picture in there? You can do it in this one. Mm-hmm.
And you can see that the staining, I mean, originally the Jasper was this color, and all of these stainings from the water coming in there, and of course you look for a nice seam. I like this one better. There's a nice one.
Okay. So number 18, Evan? Nope. 18?
18.
What? 19?
18.
18. So this is a Wahi picture Jasper, number 18, $30. Has the staining and some what look like kind of dendrites, but that's not what they are. It's just the staining and the crack. Gene?
Dendrites are fairly rare in the picture Jaspers. They occur probably more so than the wild horse than they do most of the others, but it is possible to have the black dendrites in them also, but it's very rare.
And you see some of those tan and even red dendrites in the Rocky Butte.
Yes,
Oh, look.
Yeah.
Here's number 21. That was our lucky number, right?
Mm-hmm. It's really sold.
Oh, it's already sold. Well, I'm glad you're keeping track. Here's number 22. Another piece of Wahi. Number 23. $40.
Let me see that.
Okay. You have to show Evan what he's doing.
Well, I don't know.
Number 24. 50. This one weighs 0.85 pounds, to give you a reference. Oh, stop. Number 25, $35. Sometimes you don't know which way they go. They may go upside down or right side up to different people. Beautiful blue and tan contrasting pattern in this one. Number 26 is 50.
These are all polished pieces of the original Wahi Jasper.
So next we have some cabs. We couldn't do picture Jaspers without doing some cabs too in this feed, just because you get such a different variety from the cabs. And we really wanted to show everyone the variety of pictures in picture Jasper, because the materials can look different even in their own, and Rocky Butte can look completely different from one stone to the next. Wahi can too. This one has some of that red and rust colored staining. You want to talk about our cabs a little bit, Gene?
All the cabs cut in the gem shop are cut as buff top cabs with have a fairly flat or flattish curved surface on the top. It presents the pattern that stones have to a little greater degree, I think.
They're also cut with a slightly beveled edge on the side. And that allows, you can see that slight angle for really easy bezel setting as a metalsmith or wire wrapping. So again, these are all Wahi Jasper. It's an unusual one. Thank you, Isaac. We are still offering free shipping on any orders over $50. Yes, it does. As long as it's in the continental US. However, shipping that thing probably will have to go by freight, Isaac. This is 34 for number 36. And the last three Owahis here have this interesting red staining and the rust staining in them instead of the tan. Did those come in different areas of the deposit, Gene, or are they found within each other?
The red in the Wahi Jasper is kind of valued, more highly valued, because it was just rarer. There wasn't very much of it that had the red color. So people cut it even without having a scenic picture. They just love the red, tan, and blue background.
So our next picture Jasper that we're going to be talking about is actually not from the Three Fingers Butte area. It's from a different country altogether, Madagascar. This is what we refer to as landscape jasper.
Yeah, landscape jasper comes from the Polychrome Jasper area, and there is one area out there where the formations are similar or have the similar characteristics to the jasper that comes from the Three Fingers Butte area. All the picture jaspers in the Three Fingers Butte area are all veins, except for Rocky Butte, which is pseudo veins. But the jasper that we call landscape jasper is actually a nodular formation. And here I have a little piece of rough here.
Can you find it?
So here's a piece of rough. If you turn it over, you can see it's brown all the way around the outside. So this was kind of a nodular piece of jasper. It had that bluish gray color in the center. And you can see from the outside that the soaking in or the staining of the jasper creating the hill or landscape pattern. A lot of the landscape jasper from Madagascar has a very dark interior and sometimes a lighter halo just over the brown, which tend to give like cloud formations in the pictures.
All right, we had a request to see number 30 again. That's going to come up next. Here, this number is 45. Here is number 30 again, $40. Nice Owahi.
So the landscape jasper from Madagascar is considered or called a picture jasper because it was formed in the same way or has the same formational characteristics that all the jaspers from the Three Fingers Butte area have.
So the gem shop refers to polychrome separately than we do landscape jasper, even though they are from the same area. And we refer to that landscape jasper as the pieces of rough that have the staining on the outside, the rough piece that we just saw. These are fully polished pieces like that. But polychrome, when it first came into on the market, it had these fish scale patterns, would you say, Gene?
Yes, it can have the orbed pattern as well sometimes. Similar to Morrisonite or Willow Creek. It's a extremely rare occurrence, but it is possible to have both formations in the rock. I believe the Polychrome Jasper is the only jasper in the world that can occur, or has occurred.
You're going to have to find out what that is, Evan, so I can... The 1, 2 to the left of 30 again. Can you find the one to the left of 30? So this is a sphere of polychrome, number 51, $39.99. Number 52. One second, Evan. Landscape Jasper. This is cut and polished from the rough material that we sell here. Brown on the outside, little chip on the back, $30. Oh, you're going to play. Okay. Okay, the left of, here's number 31. I hope this is the one that you wanted to see. A Wahi picture Jasper. Thank you, Evan. On to number 53, another landscape Jasper. Number 55.
Both of these last two show the nodular characteristic of the jasper and the staining that occurs from the outside in, creating the hill pattern.
Some of this landscape Jasper is not all produced in the gem shop. Those flat polished pieces are, but these tumble polished pebbles are produced in Madagascar. These are $10.99 each if you're looking for just a palm stone. Number 54 on the palm stones. And going on to Biggs Jasper.
Of course, not all picture jaspers come from the Three Fingers Butte area. And the Biggs Jasper is probably the best known jasper found outside of the Three Fingers area. And it was found along the highway near Biggs, Oregon. I don't know how far away it is from Three Fingers Butte, probably 100 miles. But the formational characteristics are the same, but usually the interior dark or sky part is much darker. The deposit along the road was considered a little bit higher quality than a lot of the Biggs Jasper that was found later. And excuse me, I'm gonna go get a piece here.
Oh, okay. So this is still Biggs. What was the question, Evan?
He said that I could look at it. He needed you, not me.
Number 6280. Beautiful. Okay, you want to show your rock?
I happen to have a piece that actually came from the original road cut, the Biggs Jasper, and this was a kind of an alluvial piece. It was all naturally eroded on the outside. It didn't go to the or the center color was always stained away too, so you don't have the sky pine pattern that most people like. But this is an original Biggs Jasper from the road cut.
He says with a big smile. All right, we're going to go back. Can you help me, please? I think I was on this one. This is a beautiful cab. It's number 60, $80. Very rare material. Look at those rolling hills. We've got 3 more Biggs cabs here. This is number 61. Nice shield shape. Here's a teardrop. It's number 63, $70. Number 64, $70 as well. So I often find that, well, I'm going to switch over. I'll just do these slabs quick. This is number 67. This is Biggs Jasper. This is 75. Number 68. It's a big piece. It measures 4.5 by 7 3/4, and is a little bit wedged, but about a 1/2 inch. Number 68 is 250.
This is what they sometimes call blue Biggs. Is the original Biggs Jasper had just a bluish tint in some of the rolling hills part of it, and a lot of the Jasper produced later that was kind of missing or wasn't there.
So this one is missing a price tag. This is $250 for the pair, for the butterflied pair. One of the things that I find when we're talking about picture Jaspers to our customers is that Biggs Jasper and Deschutes Jasper are often confused for each other. And so I thought I'd show them right next to each other here. This is a piece of Deschutes. And you notice that the hills are very similar to Biggs, sorry, but the backgrounds are different. The colors are slightly different, but the pattern itself is very similar. And Deschutes, you said, is also not from Three Fingers Butte area.
Right. These two Jaspers are very similar, but their formation is the same as the Three Fingers Butte Jaspers. You can see in the next slabs the plain color that the Jasper had originally, and the staining that occurs from the outside of the Jasper in towards the center.
Here's a big slab, 4 by 4 3/8. This is number 70. It's 150 of Deschutes. Number 71. You can see that staining going around the edge here. It is squared off. Those rocks must have been pretty big. This is 200 for number 71. On to Rocky Butte.
Rocky Butte Jasper is another one of the probably one of the three most popular or well-known Jaspers from the Three Fingers Butte area. It was discovered by Jake Daryl Jacobitz, a very good friend of mine, and he filed a claim on it in 1972. Now, Jake is a miner. He's just done nothing but mining, and he would mine Rocky Butte Jasper in the summer and then mine Bruno Jasper in the winter. Can we bring that one back up?
Yeah.
This gives a good example of the range of color that is in Rocky Butte Jasper, which is more extensive than most of the other Jasper deposits in the Three Fingers area. On the very outside, it's kind of green color, and then it goes into reddish orange and tans, and then finally the blue center it has.
Such a beautiful piece. Not all Rocky Butte looks like that, though. Rocky Butte has a variety of different colors and patterns. And here in this very large slab, you can see another variation of those colors and stainings, creating a different type of look as a big piece. But individually, if you had your little template out, Jean, you could show how this is still can show some pictures.
Oh yes, there's all kinds of pictures in here.
Here, go there.
There's a tree. This is from
This is number 74, 150.
In the center of the vein where you had the blue, primarily blue color, and it has staining. The Rocky Butte Picture Jasper deposit is much different than the deposits at Wild Horse or Wahi. These appeared to have been Jasper cones or rock, and And when Jake was mining there, he only brought to market about 15 to 20% of the jasper that he mined. He was a little bit more selective than later miners, but the point is that unlike like a Wahi jasper, which is almost all acceptable, Rocky Butte has a much greater variety of qualities, and there are many different kinds, but you can also get many different kinds of pictures. You can get trees and things like that are more common in Rocky Butte than they would be in the other jaspers from the area.
I love this cab. It has all the colors.
Jake eventually sold the claim, the Rocky Butte Picture Jasper claim, to Betty Warrington, and who then sold it to Darrell Arnold, who then sold it to Dale Hewitt. So Dale Hewitt now owns the claim. He has mined it 3 times, once for Betty when she owned it, and there is still tons and tons of jasper there.
So Isaac and Evan, you guys have been to Rocky Butte, haven't you? Yeah. Do you remember playing your sledgehammers on the rocks and making music together? I think I have a video somewhere. Number 8348. This is still Rocky Butte Picture Jasper. You can see some of the different color variations in this one. Another bigger cab off of the one I saw earlier. This is number 84. Three more Rocky Butte cabs. Number 85 is 56. '86 is 44. This one has an odd greenish color. 87 is 40. So the next type of jasper we have is from our rarer varieties. So I have the book here, Jean, and we were going to show a picture of this page in Hans Gamma's book. Just to you can text the word book if you're interested in obtaining this. I haven't heard from Hans Gamma yet, but we have an inquiry out to receive some more copies. So, but if you do, or if you are interested in obtaining this book, just text book, and we will add your name to a list to contact when we find out if we can get some more or not. So he covers a number of different picture jaspers, and you can see just by the list of them how many different claims were made out there in the Three Fingers Butte area. And we possibly we don't have all of these. We've been out there digging on some of these. And we do have a few examples of some of those rarer jaspers in this next section. One of them is called Indian War Paint. But this is found in the Three Finger Butte area. But is it technically a picture jasper, Gene?
Well, it doesn't have quite the same forms, so it's not technically referred to as a picture jasper. But it can be picturesque.
They look like broken apart dendrites.
Yeah. Likewise, Hans Gamma's book covers the jaspers over a larger area than just Three Fingers Butte, and he includes in his book Morris Night, Willow Creek, Bruno, and Blue Mountain. None of those Jaspers would be considered picturesque, picture Jaspers, even though they may be picturesque or have pictures in them. The formations or the type of things that occurred geologically to form those Jaspers is much different than most of the Three Fingers Butte area Jaspers.
I wanted to say this is Steamboat Ridge Jasper. And this one here is Palomino. And I have one other piece of Palomino here, number 97 is $80. And this is a chunk that's polished on two sides.
There is another area that has a group of picture Jaspers, and down near McDermott, Nevada. That's, 150 miles to the south. And let's see, what are they? The Chicken Track Jasper, Arroyo, Disaster Peak are all from the McDermott area.
So this slab that I just showed is not one that Jean was just talking about. This is from Leslie Gulch. It is called Bighorn Picture Jasper. And here's Rocky Butte's neighbor, Blue Mustang, which is number 99, $30. This is just a piece of rough.
We happen to own the Blue Mustang claim, and it is adjacent to the Rocky Butte, but completely different. The Blue Mustang claim is a vertical vein going north and south, similar to the Wahi Jasper vein, whereas the Rocky Butte is these cones of Jasper. And the Rocky Butte, while it tends to be only blue and tan, the Rocky Butte has much more variety of color, and it's perhaps that the Blue Mustang just needs to be dug a little deeper.
This one, number 102, is actually Jackpot, which is another location out there in Three Fingers. $75 for the pair. Jackpot. I guess that person was really happy when they discovered that.
I think so.
There's another piece of picture Jasper in here, not from this country. This is from Africa. This is African Queen Picture Jasper. This is polished all the way around. And on the bottom, number 101 is $19.99. And we do have rough material of this African Queen. We imported this really early on in gem shop years. And we also have African Queen Tumbled Stone, if you're interested in just a pocket rock. These are $1 each by commenting number 104. On to Wild Horse. Did you want to show that picture? This is a great time, because this is actually of Wild Horse, isn't it?
No, but it's very similar.
It's very similar. Okay, I thought it was. This is a picture that's in Hans Gamma's book. And Jean, can you point to what we're seeing here?
You can see. This is all a Jasper vein. This is the edge of the Jasper vein. This is the host rock. And you can see how the original color of the vein, it was all originally this bluish gray color. And then it got cracked, and you can see where all the staining or the change in the coloration of the Jasper has occurred by the influx of minerals through those cracks.
So that's what it looks like right in the ground.
Right.
And we had a request to see two of the other calves again, so we're going to snap to that before we hit some more Wild Horse. Here is 84, which is 44. And here is number 86, 44. All right, thank you, Evan. Wild Horse, Jean?
Wild Horse. Excuse me. Yeah. Wild Horse Picture Jasper was named after the wild horses, which run all over this area, and it was discovered by. The claim has had many owners since Bill Tallman including Bill Tallman, who owned the Teepee Rock Shop in Marsing, Idaho. He mined the wild horse extensively and produced many tons of material. The wild horse deposit, unlike Rocky Butte or Wahi, is a horizontal vein of jasper that's at least 6 feet thick, with the best jasper in the middle 2 feet of the jasper layer. Many tons of this jasper have been mined, and many tons and tons and tons are still there. It's a good illustration of how the formation or the influx of other minerals into the jasper vein affect the jasper itself. In this 6 foot thick jasper layer, the top pieces are primarily blue, or that blue-gray color, and the bottom pieces are primarily brown, just browns. All the blues have been changed in color. And it's in the middle where you get the mix-up of the blue and brown pieces. The claim is now owned by Dale Hewitt's brother, and Dale has mined it 3 times, for short periods of time. I think the last time was in 2005. But there is still tons and tons and tons and tons of jasper there.
I mean, you literally walk on the ground and you're walking on chips of jasper that, who knows, they're probably 2 or 3 feet deep. Can you find 99 and 100 for me, sweetie? Thank you. Okay, number 99 is a piece of blue Mustang picture jasper. Number 99 is $30. And number 100, you said, Evan? I don't know. Oh, I don't know if we showed this one yet. Wild horse? This is the last wild horse. $20. Okay, on to our imposters. Although Jean didn't really like that name. So we are on to some things that I've heard referred to as a picture jasper, but really aren't, right?
Yes.
So Sonora Dendritic is not a picture jasper, but can be very picturesque.
Sonora Dendritic comes from Mexico, Sonora, Mexico, and it is has beautiful picturesque patterns in it, but it's really an altered sedimentary rock. It's not a jasper at all. It's much softer, but it does not get its patterns in the same way.
So picture jasper, or the term picture jaspers, is only silicon dioxide jaspers.
Yes, that's the general use of the term. Yes.
One more. Number 109 has a piece of Wonderstone. Also has that very similar staining on the outside, blue center, brown outsides, and can be picturesque, but is not a picture jasper. Wonderstone is not a picture jasper because it is not a jasper. $20, 109. Number 110, $20. Number 111 through 115 are all dendritic pieces from Utah. And this is actually on dolomite. Number 111, $39.99. And you see that the stains happened in cracking, just like the Jaspers form, but it formed in linear cracks of the limestone. So you see some of that staining here along with the dendrite. Number 112, $49.99. Do you have a rock to show?
I have a question to answer.
Oh, okay. Hold on one sec. Number 113, $44.99. I'll do 114 and 115 and then so number 115 Utah Dendritic, $44.99. 115. I love how long these beautiful dendrites are. All right, Jean, you want to show a picture or a rock?
I want to answer. We received a question about cutting picture jaspers, and there are some things that you can do to facilitate or help getting a picture, but in most cases, it's luck. Now, you do know, if you do understand the formational considerations that we have just gone over, you know that the formation of the browns, which will become the land part of your landscape, exists around the outside. If the piece of picture jasper that you have is very thin, in other words, the brown part is very thin, very small compared to the blue interior, you can cut at an angle across the edge. In other words, closer to the edge, but at an angle. This will expand the brown parts in your slab and allow for a better picture. In something like a Rocky Butte picture jasper, where there's so much going on and so much variety of color, I just keep cutting until you find something. It's an adventure.
Back to a few non-picture jaspers just to finish up our finished portions. And I put these in here because I've heard people specifically say that they are picture jaspers, and I wanted to point out that they are not picture jaspers according to that formational theory. 116, $49.99. This is Muka Jasper from Australia. Still can be very picturesque. And number 117 is also a piece of Muka Jasper. $69.99 on 117. Next, we have a piece of morrisonite. Just because I wanted to mention again that we will be covering morrisonite on one of our live feeds on May 14th. And Jean is opening up those deep barrels in the basement to produce all new material for that week. Should be a lot of fun. We have to have a picture of your cabin that you built out there, Jean. So that's morrisonite 118, 200. And because I promised to put a polyhedroid in this week's feed, I grabbed this one from my house because I couldn't find the box. $40 for the pair, $119. I am mad at my camera for not focusing. Has some brown and a blue area here. You can't see it because it's so well polished. And this is Evan's pick of the week. I told him he has to do this every week now if you want me to put this in here. He has chosen this beautiful eagle carving. This is Evan's pick of the week, everyone. Our cameraman, number 120, $39.99. Okay, let's go on to our cutting corner over there, Evan. Will you walk that way? I'll join you over there. Okay. I need my water bottle. So here, we are going to show you guys samples of some of the rough material that we have for sale in Picture Jaspers. And this one here is Rocky Butte Picture Jasper. You can see some of that, the difference in color. The hardest thing about picking Picture Jaspers for orders when there's rough rock ordered is the size variance, because they come really small or really big. So this is a harder one to pick. If you want us to pick something with Rocky Butte in it, if you had a size range, that would be incredibly helpful, so we can pick a nice piece for you that may not weigh exactly 1 pound or 2 pounds. So this is the Landscape Jasper. This is from Madagascar. Number 128 is $6 a pound. Did you get the other number on here? Mm-hmm. Rocky Butte is number 129, $7 a pound in the rough. Did you get me a piece of the... Okay, yeah, you can kind of see it. This is African Queen Picture Jasper, $2.75 a pound, number 127. We have some of this rough Disaster Peak, number 124, $10 a pound. Can you scan over the top of that real quick? These pieces come really big. Make some nice display specimen slabs. Disaster Peak is found right next to Palomino, and that's what this one is. Palomino Picture Jasper Rough, number 126, is $20 a pound. Cripple Creek, Steve Schultz mined this material. He had a whole TV show made up, not a TV show, a movie, a small short film on his mining operation, and the Picture Jasper is out in the Three Fingers Butte area. You should look that up if you're interested. It was interesting. Cripple Creek, number 125, $8 a pound. This is a Wahi Picture Jasper. You can see that this doesn't come in the large sizes you see the other Picture Jaspers have. It comes in smaller pieces. Mostly brown on the outside, so it's hard to say sometimes if they have that blue center or if they go brown or red or whatnot.
It's an adventure.
It's an adventure. Here is some Wild Horse Picture Jasper. We sell this for $4.50 a pound, number 122. And number 121, Blue Mustang Picture Jasper. All right. Is it story time?
I guess. Okay, I'm going to tell another little story from this book. Finding Morrisonite book. Printed. And this is a rat story. As I explained, I think in the first story, the Morrisonite area consists of a canyon which has these rock slides, and the canyon's being pulled apart. So these rock slides are loose, and it makes a ideal place for rats and mice to live. So if you're going to be out there, living out there, working out there, I'm afraid you're going to be living with the rats and mice. So I was out there with Jake. We were mining. He was mining in the Big Hole pit, and I was mining down on the Christine Marie, and going back and forth every day. It was a lot of hard work, and by the time I'd get back up to the cabin, I was always exhausted. So, and in the cabin that I have, one of the cabins, it was actually built by Jake in about 1976. The bunk is up high off the floor. Everybody who lives out there always has their bunks off the ground, because you want it to be away from the possibility of snakes crawling in with you in the middle of the night just to get warm. So the bunks are up. Well, in this particular cabin, the bunk is up pretty high. It's 5 feet off the floor, so you have to climb up into it and climb down in the morning. So I'm exhausted. I go to sleep, and I just get to sleep, sound asleep, and then I get woken up by a rat. So as explained in some of the other stories, what you do then is grab your flashlight and shine it on the rat. If you happen to hit it with the flashlight beam, you freeze the rat, and then you can do what you want to. So I got woken up, and I heard all this racket. I grabbed the flashlight, and I looked all over the slope in the back of the cabin, and there's no rat. I can't find a rat anywhere. So I go back to sleep. Same thing happens a little later. Go back to sleep. Next day I go back, work, put in a hard day's work, and come back. And the same thing happens that night. I thought that I was possibly dreaming, that I was hearing something outside. I didn't know why I was hearing this noise. They seemed to be so clear. So this waking me up every night, this happened 4 or 5 nights in a row. So I started to complain to Jake about this noise waking me up in the middle of the night and hearing these rats, and there's no rats to be found. Can't find any rats. So Jake has lived with rats all his life as well. So he said, well, let me come over and look. So we're in the cabin looking around, and Jake says, well, have you looked under the mattress? I said, no, I haven't. So we stood on each side and we lifted up the mattress, and there are 3 baby rats. They were sleeping not 3 inches from where my head was on the mattress, in the mattress itself. Well, needless to say that I slept better that night. And if you're looking for something, sometimes it's closer than you think. That's my story.
Thank you. We've all been kind of digging in corners of the gem shop lately and trying to clean up some things. And I found this in the office today, which was an old advertisement for our 40th anniversary. And I just thought I'd bring this out and do my job as a conscious environmentalist and recycle them to have you know about what's happening next week. So please join us live May 7th for our week of Laguna Agate, live at 5 on Facebook. Thank you.